a look at the numbers before Hurricane Sandy hit the U.S. This is according to the RealClearPolitics.com average of polls. Obama was behind Romney on the 26th of October by 0.7%. 4 days later, when Hurricane Sandy actually hit the U.S., he was behind 0.8%. But here is what is being called the Sandy effect. He slowly came up as many seem to be approving of Obama's performance during the recovery operation. And as of Friday, Obama is actually 0.1% ahead of his Republican challenger, Mitt Romney.
Tonight, how do you campaign during a disaster? What do you do? Mitt Romney had an answer. Don't call it campaigning. Romney called a rally in Ohio today a storm relief event. Yet press badges still referred to a Romney victory rally. There were plenty of photo ops for the Republican nominee as well. Romney has just a few days to get his message out. He hasn't been consistent in the past, so now what does he do?
It's funny, you're seeing people use payphones, you're seeing gas lines. All we need are new episodes of Three's Company, and we're back in the Carter era. But I gotta bring up Mayor Bloomberg. You know, he's the mayor here, but he's actually a Chicken Little disguised as an unshelled turtle. This is a guy who, the city's underwater, there's no gasoline, there's fights in the street, you got looting, the man has failed. So what does he do? I hate to use the word because I'm banning it later. He pivots. He pivots, he endorses President Obama on the basis of climate change. So he's actually using the election to talk about the weather in order to shift responsibility from his own incompetence.
Now is the time for the president to show true leadership, and I think he is. And according to one Republican and Romney surrogate, he is. Chris Christie has praised the president's efforts, but had a little patience for a Fox News question about a possible photo op with Mitt Romney in the days to come.
We hear that perhaps he's going to, Mr. Romney may do some storm-related events. Is there any possibility that Governor Romney may go to New Jersey to tour some of the damage with you?
I have no idea, nor am I the least bit concerned or interested. I've got 2.4 million people out of power. I've got devastation on the shore. I've got floods in the northern part of my state. If you think right now I give a damn about presidential politics, then you don't know me.
This storm undoubtedly is a real wake-up call to those conservatives who want to leave disaster relief up to the states. Turn it over to them. To those who want to privatize everything. The state of New Jersey right now is overwhelmed. They don't have enough resources. The state's resources just aren't enough to help those without power, to help those flooded out of their home. You need a total effort across the country in a crisis like this. That's why there is a federal government. Federal and local governments working together is the successful formula for the state of New Jersey. It's going to take time. But to say to turn it over to the states and say you're on your own, I think really is short-sighted.
Point something out.
Yes.
Mayor Bloomberg, the timing of this endorsement of President Obama and then throwing climate in there, anything insidious about that?
I think it's silly. I do think that it's a way to say, don't blame me for the fact that you have all of these problems. Now let's do climate change. Now let's just say that all of us were in agreement and we could have a kumbaya moment, and down at Congress they pass a cap and trade bill. Do you think that would have changed anything today? Absolutely not. It was such a coordinated thing. And plus, Bloomberg, first of all, I didn't even think it was news that he endorsed Obama because I feel like he does it every day. In addition to that, there was obviously coordination with the Obama campaign. President Obama did not talk about climate change for the first 4 years. He has said in his MTV interview last week, he will not push for gay marriage in his second term. All the things that supposedly Mayor Bloomberg is for, President Obama has either not done or said he is not going to do. So I thought it was opportunistic, political, and really bad
I want
timing.
to get to Kimberly. Any way you slice it, people say when there's a tragedy, a disaster, it's good for the president. When people are waiting in 4-hour lines to get a gallon of gasoline, how can that be good for them?
This is, I think, at this point, going badly for Obama, because there's a certain point where everyone's like, okay, we're all in this together, let's do this, and then people start to get their patience and their emotion run very thin, because they want to know, why are they standing in this line? They can't even get to work. They can't even earn it. There's people that aren't on salary positions. They're working on jobs. People are trying to get into the city for babysitting, for housekeeping, service-oriented industry. They're not getting paid if they're not there.
And they're
That's
not going to
the
vote
problem.
for the guy
Right.
in office when they
Regardless.
Voters. This is from across 50 states, and you're looking at that entire map over there. Each state votes according to its population. Remember, when you look at this map, it does look predominantly red, but it's not about the size, but the votes that each state gets. And these coastal states on the west and the east are more populated. So let's take a look at the states left behind that haven't decided yet. They're called swing states. They could swing either way. And those are the 9 states originally declared as swing states, from Nevada there in the west coast to Florida here in the east, New Hampshire up north. North Carolina amongst them actually moved in the last few weeks into the Romney camp. So it's been turned pink. It's leaning towards Romney for the moment.
It's one thing for Mitt Romney to stand on stage with a microphone. If he really wanted to show compassion, he should have just done the photo op of helping people who are in need, right? Put yourself in the zone, and that's what presidents do. That's what this president is actually going to be doing with Governor Christie. You go there, you look presidential, you try and speak for the country. You know, it's not just at this event. Any time current events have injected themselves into this election, Governor Romney has stumbled. He did it with the Libya attacks. He wants the election to play itself out too badly, rather than seeing this as a moment when he can step up on stage and say, this is the kind of leader I will be.
I'm a traveler of both time and space.
Take a listen to President Obama a couple of months after we gave him nearly $1 trillion for shovel-ready projects. Listen.
Shovel-ready was not as shovel-ready as we expected.
Okay, he's laughing. Jeff Immels's right next to him. Bob, guess what? Go outside. Apparently shovel-ready was shovel-ready.
Okay, let me ask Greg a question. If Mayor Bloomberg failed, if Mitt Romney had been mayor of New York, would things been any different?
You wouldn't have blamed climate change. But that is different.
You wouldn't use it as an opportunity.
You guys gonna take a catastrophic event like this for millions of people.
He did.
He did.
He's the one who
You
started
did
it.
yesterday.
Did what? Climate change. I'm talking about blaming this on Obama.
No, but you linked this catastrophe to
I
climate
do
change.
think it's going to turn out to be climate change. That's right. Right now, I don't want to try to make
dead, so we'll never know.
over 1 million people who are suffering.
No proof.
May I bring this
Sounds
back
like
to,
Romney
may I
making
bring-
hay over dead people.
Can I bring this back to President
awful
Obama?
thing.
Hold on.
Yeah.
That wasn't fair.
By the way, what happened to Bush with Katrina? Did they do the same thing? You're saying that there it's okay, but here it's not, being politically expedient again?
There's 7 people who are dead here, and Romney and his people are starting to talk about how Obama was not prepared for it.
And you started talking about climate change.
That's true.
Which is a very weird.
Let me do this.
This is not a moment for retribution or punishment or the accounting of past grievances. This is about practicalities, and the extraordinary thing, you know, we can set aside what's going to happen on the ground, as important as it is. But remember, this president has been denied any claim of bipartisanship for the last 3-4 years. That's been the intentional policy of Republicans, from inaugural night through Mitch McConnell on health care. And here you have one of the most outspoken conservatives, someone who has a reputation for giving the unvarnished truth, going out there saying this president has done a wonderful, that was his word, a wonderful job. When Governor Christie goes out and does that, it says to undecided voters, that tiny sliver that still remains, those independents who are looking at this president saying, are you a polarizing figure or someone who can bring the country together? It says, if Chris Christie says he's a uniter, then maybe there's something to this president that isn't being captured by the Romney campaign or the right-wing echo chamber.
We gave the administration $1 trillion to beef up the infrastructure. If they spent $1 trillion making the grid, burying the grid underground so that when every time it's a 50-mile-an-hour wind, we don't have half the country losing power, that would be a good use of the stimulus.
You could have buried
That
the
would
grid
be
in the
better
state of New
use.
Jersey under the ground in 4 years?
They would have started.
Let me put it this way. It's $1 trillion closer to getting it done.
I see.
And it would have been- and
Sandy,
it's-
it wouldn't have happened.
What did we get with the $1 trillion we spent?
Nothing.
You Republicans got to think of something besides Sandy's making a case for in this final 4 days. It's a bad.
That's the point.
Romney did not. What he did today at his rally, which was a fantastic rally with tons of people, is he went back to his 5 things, his plan for the economy on 5 things. He didn't even talk about it.
He didn't even go there. He wasn't trying to make a
surrogates
political
have gone there.
opportunity out of it.
You know what? I just want to make Bob even angrier at this
Please.
point. The New York Daily News did a piece on the looting that actually occurred that I didn't know about. There were about 50 to 100 people that targeted Coney Island. They quoted some of the looters, which I have here. This is what one young male said, stealing a TV. Look, they've been looting our wallets for too long. This was another youth who said, it's about time we start taking this, SH, whatever, back. So isn't it wonderful that they're utilizing class warfare language? I wonder what party they learned that from.
Mitt Romney didn't just say, you know, a lot of you Americans across the country have donated to my campaign. We're talking $50 billion worth of damage. Why don't you give to the Red Cross? I mean, he just had a chance to be in a position of leadership and couldn't do it.
Go help, stop talking, take some action.
My shame